because it's easier to work on things in an organized fashion, the next thing we're going to work on is the intro section. This is the intro section, and to review, this is what it's going to look like. Okay. So the intro section has the ID intro, it has the wrapper and the content, and inside that is the content of the page. For that we have the logo, a paragraph, the headline and subhead, the main navigation links. So the main image is inside the div logo. And all we need to do with that is make sure that it's the right size. Now if you want, you can mark your CSS as this is the intro section. Okay, so the logo here, I want it to be 100% wide, centered, and the margin is 15 pixels at the top, auto left and right, and 0 at the bottom. That's basically what we're doing to align this to the center. So right now it's over there, and our style should bring it to the middle. Notice that when we zoom in, it is not, well, it does change the size as we zoom it in, because the picture itself is max width 100%. The div that it's in is 100% wide. Okay, so the next thing we have is the P. That should already be taken care of. Let's look back at our, yep. Well, looks like we might need a little bit of a spacing thing here. We didn't define the intro section itself. Let's go back and do that. The intro section itself is 100% wide, float left, margin auto, or 0 auto. We have to say it's 100% wide, even though it has the same color as the background color of the page. For consistency, we're going to be saying this on the other sections, and we want to make sure that we have it there in case we were to change the color. Padding at the top and at the bottom. So we've just moved that down a little bit. And right now you can't see that it's moved down here because we don't have that color in there yet. So we have the paragraph again to deal with. That paragraph we need to define as a paragraph inside of intro. So ID intro, the P's inside ID intro, the width is 70%, margin at the top is 25 pixels, and margin at the bottom is 20 pixels. Which gives us that shape we're looking for, that spacing, and the width. Note that this changes as we bring in the sides. The H1 and the H2 are already set. So we need to handle, excuse me, we need to handle the main navigation. If we look down here at our HTML, we have the main navigation with an unordered list inside of it. If we look at what we're trying to do with it, we are trying to make it into these rounded button looking things that have a color change both on the text and on the button when you mouse over. So looking at this, the first thing we'll need to do is to take off the list style, or the list style type will be none. We need to change the color, take off the underlines, and then make each of them a shape. They are all in a section called main nav. That section itself we're going to make 50% wide. That is this section here. Okay? So we're going to make that 50% wide with a margin at the top and a margin at the bottom, and the auto makes its center. We'll do the ULs and the LIs. We can do them together because all we're doing is taking off the list style, the margin, and the padding on each of those. So this is what we have at the moment. Everything else we're going to do to the A tags. The main nav A tag, font size is 0.9 em. Border, actually I want that to be round. Border is 1 pixel solid transparent. I have to put a border on there so I can get a border radius. The padding inside there is 10 pixels top and bottom and 3 pixels side to side. In this case, we're going to hard code that at 3 pixels so that they'll all end up the same size. We're going to flip them left. Width is 48%, and that's 48% of this 50% here. Margin, we have some margin on the left and right, or margin on the inside, on the right side, and margin at the bottom. We're going to text align at center. The background color is that brown. Border radius is 5 pixels. That's the curve of the corners. And the text decoration, we're going to take that off and we're going to make them white. So that should change them quite a bit. Currently we have them in a row. We want to get them into two rows. We put these specifically in this order because they need to line up. This is portfolio, church builder, who we are in contact. So these are going to line up since they're divs and they're floating, or since they're blocks that will float, these line up across. In order to accomplish that, we need to do a selector. So we have main nav, list item, nth child even A. So what we're saying is that the even list items, this one and this one, go do something to the A inside of it. And for those, we're going to give the margin right, and we're going to float it right. Or, I'm sorry, we're taking off the margin right, and we're floating it right, which makes them line up this way. A couple more steps. This is our mouse overs and the color changes. So we're going to make all of them white. Remember, we've already taken the text decoration off. So the color of the text on all of them is white. On the hover, the color of the text is going to be the same color as the buttons are now. So that's, let me show you what we're going to do. I'm going to go over it. And so that we're changing to the brown color when it mouses over. And the background color goes to the blue. Now remember when I changed that from M to Rem? Let's change that back. Because I think that maybe knew what I was doing in the first place. Yes. So I have it at the larger size now. Okay, so that pretty much takes care of that first section of the page.